The world of billionaires often seems like a realm of untold power and unimaginable wealth. Their financial influence can extend far beyond boardrooms and private jets. Some billionaires, however, have set their sights on even grander ambitions, acquiring entire territories, and sometimes countries. The idea of purchasing a nation might sound like something out of a fictional tale, but for certain individuals, it has been an active pursuit. In this exploration, we will delve into the true stories of billionaires with grandiose territorial ambitions, examining their attempts to buy countries, the obstacles they faced, and the lasting impact of these ventures. From islands in the Pacific to entire cities in the United States, these billionaires attempted to reshape the world map in their own image. Let's begin. The Australian billionaire who almost bought Nauru. One of the most audacious attempts to purchase a country came from Australian billionaire Clive Palmer. Known for his extravagant lifestyle and business ventures, Palmer's interest in the small Pacific island nation of Nauru was both bold and controversial. Nauru, a tiny island nation in the Pacific, had long struggled with economic instability. Once rich from phosphate mining, the country's reserves were dwindling, and its government was in need of significant investments. Palmer, always on the lookout for opportunities, proposed a deal that would allow him to take control of Nauru's economy. His plan was to purchase the entire island and turn it into a luxury resort destination. The project, known as Palmer's Paradise, would include a large-scale tourism infrastructure, which Palmer believed could turn Nauru into a global hotspot for the ultra-wealthy. But this wasn't just about real estate development. Palmer envisioned controlling the island's resources and managing its future. His offer included not only economic investment, but also plans to modernize the country's governance, bringing in his own management team. However, the government of Nauru rejected Palmer's offer. The idea of a foreign billionaire taking control of their nation's assets did not sit well with the island's leaders. There were concerns about sovereignty and the long-term consequences of giving a private individual such significant power over the country's future. Palmer's attempt to purchase Nauru fell apart, but the case raised serious questions about the influence of billionaires in fragile nations and the ethics of such ambitious acquisitions. The American billionaire who wanted to buy a U.S. state. That's who he was. While Clive Palmer's dream to buy Nauru failed, another billionaire's attempt to exert control over land took a different form in the United States. William Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, is known for his enormous wealth and philanthropic efforts. However, in the early 2000s, Gates made headlines not for his charitable contributions, but for his massive land purchases across the American Midwest. Through his investment firm Cascade Investment, Gates acquired large tracts of farmland, amassing a total of over 2,4,0,0,0 acres in multiple states. The land was purchased under the guise of agricultural investment, with Gates focusing on sustainable farming and land conservation. However, the scale of these acquisitions raised alarm among critics, who feared the concentration of land in the hands of one individual. Gates was, in essence, the largest private owner of farmland in the U.S. at the time. The implications of this acquisition were significant. Gates's massive holdings gave him the ability to influence farming practices, agricultural policies, and even local economies. Some questioned whether this type of land ownership could lead to monopolies, especially as Gates's wealth and influence grew. While Gates did not buy a state, his land holdings raised concerns about the future of land ownership in the U.S. and the power of a single billionaire controlling such vast resources. The French billionaire's attempt to buy Monaco. Bernard Arnault, the French business magnate behind LVMH, is one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. Arnault's empire includes high-end brands like Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy, and his reach extends far beyond luxury goods. In the early 2000s, Arnault began quietly acquiring property in Monaco, a tiny but wealthy principality on the French Riviera. His goal? To take control of Monaco's luxury real estate market and transform it into an even more exclusive destination for the rich. Arnault's strategy was simple: buy up large portions of Monaco's prime real estate and develop luxury hotels, shops, and apartments to cater to the world's wealthiest elite. By doing so, he hoped to reshape Monaco into an even more luxurious and profitable city-state. However, his efforts faced resistance from the royal family of Monaco, led by Prince Albert II, who was determined to preserve the sovereignty and independence of the principality. Despite Arnault's significant investments, the royal family's opposition meant that his attempts to fully dominate Monaco's real estate market were unsuccessful. While Arnault's wealth and influence certainly allowed him to reshape parts of Monaco, the country remained firmly under the control of its ruling family. This episode serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between the ambitions of billionaires and the sovereignty of smaller nations. Richard Branson's private island. Necker Island. Not all billionaires aim to take control of entire countries or states. Some prefer to create their own private utopias, far removed from the pressures of public life. Richard Branson, the British entrepreneur and founder of the Virgin Group, did exactly that when he purchased Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands in 1978. Necker Island, a tropical paradise, became Branson's private playground, where he could escape from the demands of running a multinational company. Over the years, Branson turned Necker Island into an exclusive resort, hosting celebrities, business moguls, and world leaders. The island is also a venue for high-profile corporate retreats and philanthropic events. Branson's decision to buy an island was a move that allowed him to escape the confines of conventional wealth. While he didn't buy an entire country, his control over Necker Island allowed him to shape a space that reflected his values of freedom, creativity, and exclusivity. Branson's ownership of the island sparked a trend among other billionaires, with many following suit and purchasing their own private islands. These islands have become symbols of ultimate wealth, providing a secluded haven for those with enough money to escape the world's troubles. Dennis Hope and the Moon. While some billionaires aim to purchase land on Earth, others have set their sights much higher. On the moon. Dennis Hope, an American businessman, made headlines in the 1980s with his outlandish claim that he owned the moon. Hope, through his company Lunar Embassy, argued that he had discovered a legal loophole that allowed him to claim ownership of the moon. According to Hope, international treaties governing space did not prohibit private ownership of celestial bodies, and he used this to sell plots of land on the moon to thousands of customers, including some wealthy individuals. Although Hope's claim to the moon was purely symbolic and had no legal standing, it raised questions about the future of space exploration and the potential for private ownership of celestial bodies. Hope's lunar land sales may have been more of a marketing stunt than a legitimate attempt to control space, but it was an early example of a billionaire trying to establish a claim to a piece of the universe. While Hope did not succeed in buying the moon, his story highlighted the increasing interest among billionaires in space exploration. Companies like SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, and Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, have shown that the final frontier may one day be as much about wealth and control as it is about exploration. In 2012, original SpaceX employed Peter Bezos, who successfully rescued a rocket from the SpaceX crash. Oleg Deripaska's Antarctic ambition. In the world of territorial ambitions, few plans were as audacious as Oleg Deripaska's attempt to purchase land in Antarctica. Deripaska, a Russian billionaire and oligarch, is known for his wealth in the aluminum industry. In the 2000s, Deripaska reportedly sought to acquire vast portions of Antarctica, which, under international law, is governed by the Antarctic Treaty System that prohibits private ownership. Deripaska's plan was to use the land for mining and scientific research, tapping into Antarctica's vast, untapped resources. However, his efforts were met with resistance from environmental groups and international governments, all of whom were committed to preserving the pristine environment of Antarctica. While Deripaska's Antarctic venture never came to fruition, it raised serious questions about the future of resource extraction in the region and the lengths to which billionaires might go to control some of the Earth's most remote and unspoiled territories. The pursuit of territorial control by billionaires is not a new phenomenon, and it is likely to continue as the global power dynamics shift. From Clive Palmer's failed attempt to buy Nauru to Oleg Deripaska's Antarctic ambitions, these stories reveal the complex relationship between wealth, power, and land. While many of these ventures may never come to fruition, they highlight the growing influence of the ultra-wealthy and the lengths they are willing to go to reshape the world to suit their needs. When you read this far into the big read, it seems like the last leg of the race royer. As billionaires continue to acquire land, whether on Earth or in space, the rest of us are left to wonder, what happens when the rich begin to control not just the economy, but entire countries, and even celestial bodies? Only time will tell.